Hello guys, I'm Spicy Bill. Welcome back to another episode of Gunpla review. So today we'll be looking at the Qubeleys. So we have the Mark II and the Mark I. The Mark I is piloted by Haman Khan, and this is the original version, not the revived version. This one right here to your left is the revived Mark II, and the revived Mark II is actually a premium Bandai kit. It's not available as a retail kit, but it makes sense, you know. This is like the second time they did the Mark II. And since it's somewhat of a, obscure, slightly obscure mobile suit, it's basically the mass production type of the Qubeley, slightly inferior to the original. I guess you can argue that it is much more inferior, and it's piloted by Elpeo Ple, who eventually sacrificed a unit against the Psycho Gundam to try to save Judao. Yeah, it was a bad situation, so she's died in the Qubeley Mark II, and that really made me sad because she was actually a pretty funny character. I thought she was, gonna continue going on living for a long time. They actually made so many clones of her, and most of the clones are pretty well liked. Obviously, you have the Ple 2 in the Psycho Gundam Mark II, which she's kind of a psychotic. And her final clone is Marita Cruz, the pilot for the Kshatriya, and we all know what happened to her. So yeah, it's a pretty sad story surrounding this character. They eventually made a whole bunch of Qubeleys. I think who's that guy? Galemi Toto made a whole bunch of Qubeleys, and then basically it's even more sad. There's a whole bunch of Qubeley mass production type going up against Haman's Qubeley, and in the end, Char soon sacrificed herself to, allow Haman to get away by crashing the game arc into one of those mass production Qubeleys. And they're all piloted by Ple clones, so it's freaking terrible. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the accessories from this kit. That's originally not present on the Qubeley Mark I. Or the original version. So we got this very cool looking beam saber. Basically what it is you have three beams converging and forming this very large beam saber effect piece. So that's actually really cool. And if you don't like that, you can detach the tip of the beam saber, and you can attach this piece right here. With this piece, you can create this very interesting looking weapon. I don't know how effective this thing's gonna be, but yeah, this is how it looks like. And then the beam converge and it turned into this thing. It's pretty cool, but I don't know how useful that's gonna be in actual combat. But anyway, all right. So we have that. We have two of these beam saber hilts. So we have, you can have two of those. You can have two of those like 3-prong beam sabers, so two converged beam sabers. So that's actually pretty cool. We also have these beam saber hilts or attachments that can be attached to the forearm. These are basically cannons, but you can attach the beam saber effect parts in there to have it just have like a beam weapon, melee beam weapon there. You cannot do that on the original version, so we're gonna take a look at it. We're gonna see the difference between the two, the original and the revived version. So you can see the original right here. Obviously, you see a massive seam line right there. The seam line is disguised as a panel line, which is pretty cool. And you can see the poly cap right in there, which is very cheap. Obviously, this thing is super old anyway. You can bend the knee right there. You do have to paint that part if you want it to be, to have it look box art accurate. And then you get this whole giant gap right there in the knee. And you have the old style bolt joint to the poly cap, gigantic side skirts. Yeah, gigantic side skirts. And this guy, this one actually stands a little shorter than the Revive. So you can also get this in the Revive version. I definitely recommend picking up the Revive version over the older version, unless somehow you like the older version more than the Revive. On the back here, we also have the funnels. These are all functional. You can remove them if you want to. We do have the waist swivel, and we also have an ab crunch, which is pretty cool. The cockpit can also open up like that. The head can hinge up like that, so it can looks like it's like flying toward you, which is very cool. And let's see, we have part separation for all these parts, which is very nice. We also have a butterfly joint right here for the shoulders. We have these individually articulated winglets. These are pretty cool. Now the difference between the original and the Revive is, well, you see all these parts. I had to actually I removed all the sticker and I painted them in using paint, because it uses stickers for all these parts, and it's freaking terrible. So you're better off painting it. So anyway, arm can go perpendicular. You can see the polycap right in there. We got the bicep swivel, which is basically just a polycap. And you don't have that function right there for the beam saber effect part. For the cannon thing, you can attach a beam saber effect part in there. So there we go. And let's see. And these parts don't fall out. So yeah, the hand is attached via polycap right there. Okay, I think even the hand is a polycap. Yeah, it's like a two-piece polycap hand. So yeah, this thing is made back in 1991. Not 1991, 1999 or 2000. So this thing is very old. Yeah, definitely not from 1991. That would be way too old. They have high-grade kits in the 90s. I think they're just called 90s kits. And that's it. Some of them are high grades, I think. But yeah, definitely it's not the high-grade Universal Century line. So there we go. Here is the original Qubeley. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Qubeley Mk2. So the Mk2 has, obviously it's a Revive version, so you have significant improvements. Again, you have that function for the toe, or you can bend the toe. Let's get this one in the back. And you have articulated ankle armor. Knee armor. And this time it's not just a polycap. You can see that this is actual, they actually engineered this part. So you can see that when you bend the knee, this piece is separate. So you have the whole knee joint right here. Yeah. Right there. That's actually really good. All part separation. And let's see. I think it is a double jointed knee, but unfortunately you can't really go too far, just barely 90 degrees. And you can see the part separation right here. These you had to paint in. This one right here, just part separation, which is very nice. Okay. Yeah. There's a lot to talk about here. So you can actually articulate the front skirt right here. You can do that. That thing is static. The side skirt is it's still a polycap design, but this is a lot better than what we have over there. So that's pretty good. We also have the butt flap with the funnels that can be attached. I actually didn't build it because I guess I got kind of lazy, and now I can't find it. So I need to go through my collection and try to find those parts. So there we go. Okay, and then we also have the waist articulation and the ab crunch right there. I think the ab crunch is actually a little better on the original version. I don't know why this one here is so stiff. Maybe it's just over engineered. And we also have the opening cockpit gimmick right here. You can open this up, close it down like that. Looking pretty cool. And the head also can hinge up. It can look down like that, and then it can hinge up like so. So yeah, if you enter the flight mode like that, we have the swing out polycap right here, just like the original version. Oops. The swing out polycap right there. This time it's a ball joint instead of a straight peg, so you get a little bit more articulation right there. And obviously we have the hinge right here. This thing is still a polycap there, but then they give you this shoulder piece to block off, so you can't really see that polycap unless you're looking it through right here. So that's nice. We have the bicep rotation. We have the double jointed elbow this time, although unfortunately it's barely 90 degrees. Yeah, this is a double joint. You can see that design right there. Let's see if I can show it to you better. Yeah, you can see that right there. That's pretty cool. Okay, and then we have the ball joint for the hand. The hand this time is a lot bigger than the original. This is how it's supposed to be. That's how they went with the accuracy right there. Instead of using, I think those hands probably come from another kit. Those are those cheap polycap hands. And the collar can go back in, and then yeah, you can articulate the collar piece. Although it's kind of a pain in the butt to get them to come out. So that is definitely not a good idea to try to get them in there. You only want to do that if it's gonna wield the beam saber. Otherwise, yeah, you're gonna have to remove the hand just to get them out there. And like I showed you before, you can attach a beam saber effect part in there. And what's cool about this kit is that it is a lot easier to do the transportation mode than it is with the original kit. The original kit is kind of a chore to get the wing bits or the shoulder parts to come down like this. This is basically one of its modes for transportation, long range like flying mode or something like that. So there we go. I really like the Revive version. I think I do have the Qubeley Mk2 in the Revive form. I just can't find it. I might have sold it or traded, but yeah, I remember getting it. So I need to find that kit and build it somewhere. Yeah, it's definitely I either sold it to a friend or I traded for something. If not, I'm probably going to have to pick up the Mk2 in the Revive form. And yeah, I definitely recommend the Revive version over the original. The original is just way too outdated. I mean, look at all the, 90% of the joints are just all polycaps. And they're pretty much exposed and you can see all of them. So yeah, although this kit can be found for pretty cheap. I think you can probably find this kit in Asia for like 15 bucks. It's probably a different story in North America. People think it's older, so it's worth more money, even though the engineering isn't even there at all. But yeah, definitely go with the Revive version. I think the Revive version is like 30 bucks at most places. If you buy it online, you can probably find it for under 25 bucks. So anyway, let me know what you guys think about these two. Which one do you guys like more? I think this is a no-brainer here. But yeah, if you want to get the Mk2, you do have to pay the premium Bandai price for it though. So anyway, that's pretty much it for this review. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching.